What's going on, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch? We're on a TriCast right now. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Key back with another one. Got an interesting one for y'all tonight, man. Got Candace Owens on the Whatever podcast, and man, it got spicy. She was dropping bombs on these girls. So we're going to get right into it. Thank y'all for tuning back in. As y'all know, we still on this grind to 100 subscribers across all platforms. So keep tuning in, keep supporting. We appreciate the support y'all have been showing. So just keep doing that, and we'll keep bringing you this heat we keep dropping for y'all. Because, man, we having fun with it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. I want to start off with a little background of Candace Owens and the Whatever podcast. So Candace Owens, as y'all know, political pundit we've covered multiple times on this channel. Me and Seth personally fuck with her. You know, she's raw. She gives it to you how it is. You know, very controversial. A lot of people don't like her takes, but we fuck with her over here on S.E.T Key Media because she drops that shit. You know, Whatever podcast, definitely one of the top podcasts on YouTube, one of the more subscribed to podcasts that is Red Pill. Think of Fresh and Fit, right? So no disrespect to Whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit with the comparison, but that's just the best way I can compare them, or the best way I can explain it for those who you might not be familiar. So panel with pretty much online influencer, only OF girls, that kind of thing. So they'll have these girls on there. They'll talk about them. They'll have viral moments. It's funny. It's entertaining. But like I said, without further ado, let's get right into it, because I know y'all want to see what this girl Candace said.
Welcome to the Whatever Dating Talk podcast. Thank you for tuning in tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. We are coming to you live from Santa Barbara, California.
Now, I know y'all might be like, Key, that shit say 4 hours and 21 minutes. I know y'all. As much of a Iron Man, a hardcore G thug as I am, yeah, we're not sitting through this four hour pod right now. We're gonna break it up into parts. The beautiful thing about Whatever podcast, shout out to them, they've broken it down with beautifully placed timestamps. So we're gonna skip through about the first hour and a half or so, get into the juicy parts, come back with a part two, maybe tomorrow, maybe a day or two, depending on how much y'all like this one. But yeah, let's get right into it, man, because I want to see
Sunday and Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. I am your host, Brian Atlas. I'm joined by my co-host, Kiki. She's a bit shy. A few quick announcements before the show begins. This podcast is viewer-supported, heavy YouTube demonetization, so please consider donating through Streamlabs instead of super chatting, as YouTube takes a brutal 30% cut. So if you super chat 100, YouTube takes 30. If you donate 100, Streamlabs only takes 3. Streamlabs.com/whatever. Link is in the description. For the sake of a smooth show tonight, we have temporarily boosted some of the donation and super chat triggers, guys. If you want to see all the details, links in the description. We're also live on Twitch right now. Pull up another tab. Go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you have one. And yeah, so we had a false start there, so I'm a little befuddled there. Anyways, without further ado, we're going to have the guests introduce themselves one more time. So please tell us your name, age, and occupation. Go ahead.
My name's Azalea. I'm 31, and I'm a flight attendant and content creator.
What kind of content do you?
Honest, bro.
Twitch streaming, OnlyFans,
Okay.
and yeah.
So honest,
All right.
chat.
What about
I
you?
can introduce this chat for y'all. I can introduce this panel for y'all without even wasting the time going through introductions. Sex worker, OnlyFans, prostitute, stripper, call girl. What's the other side?
My name is Lexi. I am 22 years old, and I'm a full-time sex worker.
Okay, and when
Corn star, travel nurse. But pretty much y'all get it, man. The whole panel, I'm telling y'all, the whole panel is most likely OF girls. That's they niche. They bring the OF girls on. Some of them kind of smart, most of them not so much. They have these debates, they have these back and forths. Some viral moments come out of it, and hey, you got the Whatever podcast. But they got 4.2 million subscribers, so they're doing something right. But let's get into the juicy part, because we're not here for them. We're not here for the OF girls.
Research assistant in the field of clinical neuroscience.
We're here to see Candace get these girls together.
I'm Lily. I'm 23 years old,
happened.
and I'm a couple of things. I'm a student at Belmont. I'm graduating soon, and I'm a personal trainer, and my goal is to be a worship artist. Gotta make money, though.
I am Candace Owens. I'm a wife. I'm a mother first, and I also obviously have a political podcast, documentary filmmaker.
Shout out Candace. You see how she introduced herself as a wife and a mother first and foremost, before she got into her own personal endeavors, her own side quest. She said, first things first, I'm Candace Owens. Y'all know me, but I'm a wife and a mother first. Yeah, I got the podcast. Yeah, I got that other stuff, but that's what's most important to me. That's what I want to be known and remembered as. Shout out Candace.
Content regarding what's going on in the media landscape.
Sweet. And you have tomorrow a documentary
Yes.
coming soon.
Yes.
Convicting a murderer.
Very excited about that.
What time does it drop?
You can watch it live on X tomorrow night, so we're super excited about that. It also will be available.
So yeah, that's dropped, I believe, Friday night. Might get into that one as well for y'all. Let me know what y'all think on that one. Y'all seem to enjoy the Candace. We definitely ain't afraid to admit it. We enjoy Candace over here at S.E.T KEY. Might get into that one for y'all. She did just drop a new documentary. And yeah, let me know what y'all think on that. If y'all in the chat, let me know what y'all think. Might do a solo on that. Might get set in here. Might fuck with that.
On Daily Wire Plus. The first 2 episodes will be free. And yeah, it's jumping into kind of building on Netflix made Making a Murderer. Made it seem as if Stephen Avery was guilty. I don't know if you guys watched that. It was everyone was obsessed with this idea that the justice system got it wrong.
Super popular. Probably one of the most popular crime series on Netflix to date. And I haven't personally seen it, but I just know it's so popular because you just hear things. The streets talk, right? So you hear the name enough to know To Make a Murder on Netflix, one of the top crime series, docuseries on there.
We kind of went in, re-examined the case, and created Convicting a Murderer, which is a 10-part series, first docu-series I think we've ever done at the Daily Wire. Extremely proud of it. It's apolitical first and foremost, and it's it's been a labor of love. So I'm super excited to bring it to everybody and to change people's minds about what they thought they originally knew about the case. So
apolitical as true journalism should be.
So yeah,
that's true journalism when personal biases and influences kept out, and actual reporting and the sharing of news is just raw. It's just being given in its rawest, purest form, apolitically, non-biased.
And you went boots on the
Truth
ground
bombs.
in Manitowoc County.
I went to Stephen Avery's
The junkyard.
Yep. And yeah, I like to get my hands dirty in terms of really understanding what's going on and talking to people in the town and seeing how they are impacted. Because for us, we scroll through our cell phones aimlessly and we comment on these cases, but real lives are impacted when something goes viral, and especially when something goes viral and produces the wrong answer, lives can be destroyed. And in this particular circumstance, you have a man and his nephew that are in prison, and they get love letters, and they've got fiancés and adoring fans and people writing songs about them. And that's all because Netflix was able to produce a docuseries, and people believe that everything they watch is real. And so I'm really interested in dissecting the deceptive media narrative.
Ain't that the truth? I can't tell you how many times I've been scrolling on X. I'll be so ready to call it Twitter, y'all. I'm still adjusting, goddammit. But I can't tell you how many times I'll scroll on X and I'll see a video that's clearly fake, clearly fabricated, it's clearly a skit. Clearly fake, right? To myself, I might show it to somebody else around me, and we're both laughing at it as entertainment. It's clearly fake to us. But I'll go in the goddamn comments, right? And I'll see people commenting as if this shit is real, going down whole scenarios like, oh, this is why, this is what's wrong with blah blah blah, or really getting truly involved in the content as if it was real. People don't know how to separate real from fake. Like, she's not lying. you hit it right on the head with that one. Like, I swear people are getting. I don't know if it's just so much fake shit on the internet, so much skits, so much prank, so much entertainment that's desensitizing us to what's really going on. Like, so desensitizing us to what's really real. You'll see this shit nowadays, and I think a lot of people struggle with deciphering what's real and what's fake.
A bunch of different circumstances, just, what they're feeding people, what people think is the norm, what people think will bring them happiness, what people think is true. And so that's kind of been my shtick, so to speak, for the last 10 years.
I remember seeing Making a Murder when it came out. I think it was 2015.
Correct.
And then they came out with like a
It's
part
almost 10 years
2
old,
a couple
right?
years
So,
later. And
like I said, super popular. I've been hearing about that. Like I said, almost 10 years old. I'm old, y'all. Like I said, I ain't never hit. I'm 26, so that's, if it's 2015, 2023, 8 years. That shit's been talking about since I was 18. So since I was literally a kid. Very popular Netflix docuseries, crime docuseries. I might have to go check it out myself now, just because they're talking about it. But yeah, very, very popular one.
And basically, my understanding is your documentary is saying, nah, he did that shit. Is that about...
And that's the most eloquent way to put it.
I mean, there's obviously, you go into some details, and you've reanalyzed the court footage and the documents, and...
just showing people what they didn't want you to see, essentially. Because when people decide on a narrative, the media gets fully behind it. It's a full court effort. It's supported by the usual pundits and suspects. Alec Baldwin got behind the Stephen Avery innocent train. Nobody thought about the woman who actually was killed and murdered. Trevor Noah got behind it. I kind of say...
Anytime you see celebrities getting behind some type of movement like that, I'm not going to say any type of harebrained tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I'm just going to say, ask yourself this.
Wait a minute.
Ask yourself, why are the celebrities getting behind it? I'm not going to say treat it like a red flag, but let your social blinkers be going off on that. Kind of question the true cause of the true nature or the true motive of whatever cause they're just all suddenly rallying behind out the blue, right? Why is it getting such strong push from the media? Why are all the celebrities endorsing and backing it? Just ask yourself why. Try and get to the root. It might be as innocent as the cause proclaims itself to be, but just really start questioning when we see all these influencers and all these Hollywood actors and celebrities start to push this same narrative or cause that the media is also pushing down our throat. As we getting it pushed from all angles, just start to wonder why. Start to question why.
Anything that goes from Netflix to Alec Baldwin to Trevor Noah, you should immediately have your radar up and just go, am I hearing the truth or am I listening to propaganda? And I'm fascinated by the impact of propaganda. I've been impacted by propaganda. I'm obviously a person that started with liberal tendencies. I think everyone knows that part of my story. I was left-leaning.
I think we all do. It's very, I would say, natural for us to start off with more left-leaning ideologies and viewpoints. I find myself, like, as you get older, you just start to understand the world a little bit better. And I would say that I think everybody not necessarily fully converts to being a conservative, but I think everybody adapts more conservative views as they age, as they go on in life. I don't think that's too far-fetched or too far from the truth.
So to speak, and
Some
now I'm super conservative,
where
so it's right on par with everything that I do, everything that
right-leaning, and some people find themselves more in the middle. Some people I still identify on the left, but hey, I got these issues. I'm pretty tight on. I'm pretty strict on. It ranges. It's a spectrum, but yeah, I feel like as people age, as people go through life, they do adapt and adopt more conservative views.
I've learned in my life about, not just accepting what the media is trying to spoon feed you.
One question, and I don't know if you want to save some of this for what's in the actual documentary, but What would you say is like the most egregious thing making a murderer did that they just either something that was deceptive or something that was omitted? If there's one thing that was just the biggest smoking gun, or
Yeah, well, I think I can definitely tell you this because this will be
Have
for
y'all
the next
seen it?
24.
Let me know if y'all seen it already. Like, I'm probably the only one who hasn't seen it at this point. Like, let me know
Hours
if that
people
shit's
will be
any
able to see
good.
that.
Like, I might go watch that shit. If it's any good, let me know.
But just skipping over who he was before they believed was wrongly convicted of this murder.
Beating cheeks.
People tend to tell you who they are early on, and a person that's torturing animals and cats and dogs, and in a relationship that is with a minor who's crying and talking about that. He just had a very long, thick packet of crimes that they decided not to mention or to entirely diminish and make it seem like, oh, that was nothing. Yeah, so what? He threw a cat in a fire and doused it in gasoline, the family pet. Not normal behavior, not something that we do when we have a couple of drinks. And I think that was kind of the most egregious thing, really unpacking everything that they chose to leave out about who he was.
can I make a pitch to you and to the Daily Wire for
Yes.
the next documentary? Can you guys look into the Tiger King? Could you guys maybe put Matt Walsh and
How many of y'all
Michael Knowles
remember
on
Oh my
it?
God, Matt Walsh.
That shit that had everybody on their couch or the edge of their bed during COVID. We was all obsessed with Joe Exotic during COVID. Don't lie, man. Think back to COVID. Think back to COVID and how you was sitting on your couch with your snacks, getting fat. And when they dropped Tiger King, man, that was just the talk of the social media streets. Everybody and their mama was watching that. And I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty entertaining. I liked it. Maybe it was just because I was bored and wasn't nothing going on outside and all the businesses and restaurants were literally locked down. But hey, I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. But I feel like everybody and their mama know about Joe Exotic. Yeah.
Walsh and the Tiger King needs to happen. I'm fully behind you on this pitch.
Yes.
I will
think
bring
that-
this to the right people who can make the right decisions.
Please,
Yeah.
please. Can I get like a little special thanks in the
Matt Walsh and the Tiger
in the
King is
credits.
irresistible. Yeah.
do you think that would be Matt Walsh would be the best at
Yes.
the Daily Wire to tackle the
Yes.
Okay.
There's just something about the fact that Matt's a cat, and he always kind of gives you the impression that he doesn't want to be there, and he just has to kind of lecture us all. Like he's like the classic dad.
Right,
And I just find him to be so funny, even when he's not trying to be funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, we'll go around the table once more. So, what is everybody's current relationship status? So,
I can
are you
guarantee
single?
you
Are you in a talking stage?
Everybody on this podcast, except for Candace, is either single or for the goddamn streets. And for the one or two girls that are in a relationship, potentially out of the 7 that are there outside of Candace, congrats. But we're not gonna waste the time going around the panel just for these girls to tell us they're for the streets, they're single. Well, we already goddamn know that. Y'all can thank me later for that. Not gonna lie. So we're gonna skip to the juicy parts, as I said we would. Let's see. Shashuka video. Let's see what that is, because I'm not even sure what that is.
Considering looking for someone of value, you also take a second to measure yourself and see if you are a person of value that's worthy of marrying. Because I think people forget that part. That's almost the most important part.
Got it. So recently, a video went pretty viral on the internet, and Candace, you actually tweeted about it. Cool. Something about shashuka. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So Nick, if you can pull up a video, we're gonna just have the panel react to it, and then before you go full screen on that.
Okay, we've seen this. I had a conversation with a friend of mine about this. And I don't know why this girl got so much backlash. I mean, she's essentially living her life as she should be given her situation, and I'll let her explain. I won't get too far deep into it. But single girl, no kids. Internet roasted her because she shared her story about how she was at the crib chilling and wanted to learn how to make shashuka and watch Netflix. Yeah, they grilled her, saying that she wasn't where she should be at in life, and she was only able to do this because she was selfish and she didn't want to have kids. All this other stuff. I'll let her get into it.
Matt Walsh posted, and I saw this everywhere. I saw it yesterday. Her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. And then Candace, quote, X'd it? Quote tweeted? I don't know anymore. Quote X'd it. This is what was future. Wait, this is what was.
Oh, okay, future.
This is what future depression. Future depression, Xanax, and wine combo nights alone looks like. But hey, the shashuka.
It's gonna be amazing.
Not Xanax and wine, Jesus. The Karen cocktail, god damn. Not the Karen cocktail.
So let's play the video. Nick, if you can go full screen on it, and then we'll get the panel's reaction.
Xanax wine nights.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long, and I was just scrolling on my...
I feel like when single people highlight the fact that they don't have to, I don't know, take care of kids, or they're not bogged down financially or physically by kids, I feel like people with kids always take offense to that. And I don't know why. I do not know why. I've never seen it as something to take offense to or something that was said offensively. I've always just taken it like, oh, okay, like, it's two sides of the fence. Y'all speaking from the other side of the fence. Like, it's all good. Like, I don't see it as bashing. Y'all are speaking from the other side of this fence, so to speak. Y'all don't have kids. We do. We don't have kids, or we have kids. Y'all don't. Whatever side of the fence y'all on. I don't think you should be getting offended by an old girl saying that she slept in at 10:15, went to Beyonce, had fun, and didn't have to pay no babysitter. Sorry if you had to pay the babysitter. Sorry.
Phone and I saw a picture of shakshuka and I thought, it sounds really good. Maybe I'm going to learn how to make shakshuka today because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into...
We're not going to sit here and pretend like even a married woman doesn't want a Saturday where she could sit at home, watch her Netflix, watch her Hulu, have a little wine. Maybe the kids are at grandma's house. She's over here fucking around in the kitchen baking cookies and shit. Like, we're not going to pretend that even the most faithful and domesticated of housewives doesn't even want that one Saturday out the month. So we ain't gonna pretend like that.
This documentary on Netflix about
blue
zone countries. So I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself.
It did sound a little bit selfish right there how she phrased it, but ultimately I don't fault the girl or the woman or the lady for what she said. I think that she's speaking from her scenario. She's speaking from her experience. I don't even think that she's saying that she doesn't want kids, a husband, or family life. I think what she actually said was, if we analyze it a little bit deeper, she said she tries not to fault herself for those things. So, analyzing that, it would seem as if it's something that she has thought about. So I wouldn't beat her up for not wanting those things. It just hasn't happened for her for whatever reason. For whatever reason, we can't tell off of a 120-second TikTok, but I don't think we should be beating this girl up over staying in, watching Hulu, and making shakshuka.
For not being where society tells me I should be in life.
I thought it was going to be really her going, shot.
So, why do you guys think that this video went kind of crazy viral, and what's the analysis here?
I mean, it went crazy viral because Matt Walsh tweeted it. Let's be real. That would have just gone into the ethosphere on TikTok, and no one would have talked about it had he not picked that up and tweeted it.
Well, I don't know if Matt Walsh was the first
he
person.
Was.
Oh, was
yeah.
he really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I guess what's interesting to me is that this woman has actually even said, she gives herself a hard time. She wants to be married. She wants to have children.
Yeah, yep, a good point. She said the exact thing I just said. I perceived the same thing from her speech that this young lady right here did, and that it's on her mind. It's not something that she's against. It's actually seems like something that she's maybe in the past been hard on herself about, or in the past that's something that's weighed heavily on her consciousness, or her subconscious, or her brain, or she's felt some type of way about it, pretty much, or lack thereof, of kids and a husband. So I wouldn't say she doesn't want it. I would just say it hasn't happened for her. Just whatever situation she's in, whatever particular situation she's in, we don't know. What was she supposed to be doing? Crying about it? Or enjoying her Saturday off like she really should be doing? Just because she doesn't have that shit, she shouldn't be crying about it. Like, maybe she is looking. It just hasn't happened.
So I don't think that it's right to demonize her and act like she's going to have a depressing life when she just hasn't found the right person, because clearly she wants those things and she's trying to make herself feel better and other people in that community feel better about not being that far along. Because like you said, you wanted people to settle down with the right person, take their time, figure out if that's the right person. So just because she's 29, you're saying that it's too late for her and she's going to be doing Xanax and drinking wine at night because she hasn't reached that point
yet? I didn't say that. That's not what my tweet said.
You said the future.
Yeah,
right.
Because she's obviously a narcissist, right? So
Why
the
would you
issue,
think
first
that?
and foremost, let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is to be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer.
See, that's why shout out to Candace, a real journalist right here. Does the research, does the follows the background story well enough to speak on these topics with some history behind it. So she's obviously scrubbed this girl's TikTok or whatever and said that's her whole brand. That's her whole thing. She gets on here and just brags about how she ain't got to pay no babysitter, how she ain't got to take no kid to school at 7 a.m. in the morning, and how she gets to sleep in on Saturday. And when she thinks about getting up, she doesn't have to. She could just stay in the bed even longer. Like, okay, that's very relevant. It's very pertinent to the argument. So we didn't know that. Thanks. Shout out Candace, man. Shout out Candace.
Influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shashuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. There's absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children, is the problem. She started.
And I think that's what rubs people the wrong way. Like I said, there's always that two sides of the fence, oppositionary beef almost between people who do have kids and people who don't. It's like the have and the have-nots. Like whenever I've noticed that people who don't have kids speak on people's situations who do have kids. It's a very sensitive, touchy subject. Like they tend to get. I would say it's just a touchy subject. I wouldn't say everybody gets offended, but a lot of times I've seen that. People with kids do get offended a lot of times, depending on what's said. So. That's a fair point by Candace made there. She could have shared her Saturday, without adding the fact, but like, yeah, I don't have kids, and it's because I don't have kids I'm able to enjoy my life this well, and . I guess that's a fair point. She could have shared her Saturday without adding a tidbit about the kids.
She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessary in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done.
Imagine you had kids and you were 29 and somebody is almost shitting on your life and the life that you've built by. I mean, yes, it's a TikTok. Yes, you could turn it off, but just. Go down this road with me. Hypothetically, somebody shitting on your life and saying like, oh, well, my life is so much better than yours. I'm 29, you're 29, but my life is so much better than yours just because I don't have kids. I ain't had to pay that babysitter $100 last night. I could have stayed out to Beyonce and drank my little heart away, woke up at 10:15, turned on Netflix, turned on Hulu, didn't do shit all day. My life is so much greater than yours just because I'm able to do all
day,
that, and I don't have kids.
There's no reason to bring up, but having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has a brand where she talks about childlessness and she talks about leaning into selfishness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. She's telling you she's a narcissist. Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you. You don't have to. You can get up in the morning. You can go help others. You can do other things. You can say, now that I have free time as a single woman, I can go dedicate time to the church. I can sing. I can do this. I can help people find God. That particular woman that you just looked at is a selfish bitch, and men should not marry her. That's my personal opinion.
You wanted to come in really quick?
Yes, I wanted to answer your question real quick as to, you said why it went viral. I
Sure.
think it went viral because it's like, nowadays, it's like, it's relatable in our day and age. You know what I mean? Like 22, 23 years old. I don't know how old this girl is, but like 29 or whatever.
Sweetie.
But in my day and age,
Come on, sweetie. She said she was 29. God damn it.
age, like it's relatable to be like, haha, we don't got kids, like quote
You're
unquote,
22.
fuck them kids. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm glad you're admitting that.
It's like that.
I'm glad
Like,
you're admitting that.
It's like a term that people use, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just relatable.
honest.
Like, that's why it gets so many views, is what, to answer your question.
I think that's really honest of you to say that.
Yeah, that is
You wanna come and
like
go?
the new generation's thing. Like, oh, fuck them kids. Like, haha, memes about it, all this other shit. And I do think it's because there's a growing population, especially of the new generation, like I said, that are more conscious of having kids and getting married. And in a sense, that's a good thing, but we don't want people thinking about it too much where they're discouraged from doing it. We need kids. We need marriages. We need that shit to continue the society that we've built, to ultimately continue humankind, so don't get me wrong, it's a good thing people are thinking about a lot more, as we should be. As consciousness levels raised, we should be more conscious of all things, but we need those things. We should be thinking about how we could advance them and improve them rather than how we could do without them. That's not really an option.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just gonna.
unquote,
I was
that's
gonna.
what they say. You know
Yeah,
what I
but you're
mean?
admitting that so that she's starting the fight. You're looking
And
at
it's a
people that are
trend
moms.
that are
Like, I don't when
trending. It's a
I'm not,
trend.
when I'm with my kids.
Right.
I don't post videos and say F them single chicks with no kids.
Right.
She did the baiting, okay, and we responded. That's it.
I don't know.
Like it's a
The
new
first
trend
thing I was
type
gonna
thing.
say.
Hold on, let's just let Essie go ahead.
The first thing I noticed about the video was
I'm weak. Candace knew what she came here for. She came here to fuck with these girls. She had a little smirk on her face right there too. I peeped it after she was done and she sipped her water. There was a little smirk on her face, like she knows she got these little girls. Or I'm sorry, these women, these ladies riled up. She just ruffled some feathers with that one.
that she was putting people with kids down. It'd be fine if she was talking about how her day was and wording it differently, but it seemed like almost immediately from the beginning of the video that she was belittling people with kids, which I think is like the part of the problem.
Pixie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like
Yeah, these girls are literally, the panel is literally dissecting what I kind of alluded to before they got to it, which is that I think it rubs people the wrong way when people without kids make those type of comments or say those type of things. And Candace pointed it out a little bit better than I did. yeah, it's almost like she was shitting on them. Like she could have shared her story about the Saturday without adding the kids part, which was a very fair point. I didn't even think to say that, but it was an extremely well made point.
Up to interpretation, because personally when I saw that video, my interpretation was like, oh, she's putting herself down because she's saying like, oh, you know, when I tell myself why am I not further along in life, you know, it's okay because at least I'm enjoying these things. So I could definitely see, like, depending on how you're looking at it or if you have further context, why you would think she's putting kids down. But when I saw that video by itself, I was thinking like people are kind of going a little bit overboard in the sense that she says she's being harsh on herself. She doesn't have children, and these are just the things that have made her happy today. And I don't think that by itself, without additional context, is inherently wrong.
Anybody else? Tara, did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the background of what other types of content and messaging she puts out, but just from that video alone, I don't think to me, I never got the impression she was shaming people that women that were married to kids. It felt like she felt bad that she wasn't already there and she was just trying to be optimistic about it. And so I think it sounded more like her content was about making women who are.
So I think with the context that Candace added, that directly changes the answer that I have. And I think that directly changes the whole tone of the video, because had it just been a one-off, like, oh yeah, I'm just sharing my Saturday, you know, normally I think about how, you know, sometimes in life I should feel like I'm this or that, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, blah 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 blah, but you know, it's all good because I can have my shashuka and my Hulu and my Beyonce and my wine, all good, right? That's a totally different scenario if it's a one-off video versus, like Candace said, she's went through this girl's social media and seen that that's her brand. That's what she does. She, childless women over 25 unite. Let's go. Yay. Ha ha ha. For likes and views. So that's her whole shit. Candace just exposed it. So that adds the context that was low-key missing. Because I had the same viewpoint as a couple of these ladies on the podcast, and it's just like, oh, I don't think that's that bad. But you add the context that Candace had, and it's just like, oh, she does that? Okay. So she does go around kind of shading people with families, shading women with kids. Like, yeah, I could see that rubbing people the wrong way.
Childless and not married yet and are approaching the end of their reproductive years to like look on the bright side. But I really, and all my friends know I'm like so eager and ready for like marriage and kids, but I really honestly just didn't get that impression from that video.
And let's be honest, regardless of what image or what idea you see popular culture try and put forth, you see social media try and put forth, a lot of women feel how this girl just shared. A lot of women feel like that. I want a family. I want kids. I want a husband. I want to be provided for. I want to provide for my family in a sense of motherhood, femininity. You know, a lot of girls feel like how this lady just shared. They're just too scared to say it. It's like society has made men scared to speak up and be men, and society has also shamed and made women fearful of confidently and being unapologetically feminine and female. Oh, girl, you let him do all that for you, girl. Girl, you're a woman. You're a boss bitch. Come on, girl. Girl, you let him order your food for you. Girl, come on, man. We've seen it. We done seen it, yo. Or like, oh, bro, you be on her about that, bro. Ain't that kind of controlling? Ain't that kind of manipulative? Like, society has convinced us that being a proper man in a female's life or being a proper female in a man's life is toxic. You shouldn't be doing that. We're equals. Like, instead of empowering us to know our roles and ultimately bringing us closer as a team and as a society. But this shit is ass backwards right now because we got girls who are hyper masculine, and this is just their same red pill talking point. I know y'all have heard it a million times, and I don't really mean to repeat it because I'll be honest, some of those talking points do get annoying. But yeah, I mean, it's not even at this point. It's common knowledge to say like the females, fuck it. The hoes done got masculine and the niggas done got bitch like. I'm gonna say it raw for y'all.
Video alone that she was in any way.
So when she was talking
shaming.
about, I got to go to a Beyonce concert and I didn't have to pay for a babysitter. You don't think that
that's
was belittling?
it's so
yeah,
she was
that was
obviously
selfish of her to say that.
Yeah,
yeah,
she
but
sounds selfish,
and she
was
that.
being rude. And if it was flipped and a conservative woman with children said the opposite of that
Right.
to single women,
It would blow up.
It would blow up,
rude.
and they would
Right.
say, "How rude of you! Why are you even mentioning single women? Just say you had a good day with your kids.
They would
That's
rude.
fine."
And
If
I
said,
feel
woke
like
up one
nowadays-
Oh yeah, blase blah. Having a family doesn't make you any better than the single women. Having kids doesn't make you any. And I would actually argue to say like, yo, she just expanded society by having kids. I ain't gonna say that makes her better, but she got kids. You don't. I ain't gonna say that makes her better, but I ain't gonna say that makes her better, but come on now.
The promise my kids did that. Okay, chill. Why are you correlating it to children? It doesn't make any sense. So, and like I said, she's produced more content, so that the context is important. She's leaned into this as a brand and as an influencer. So,
money in it, I'm
then
sure.
you're going to expect the people that
Views in
influence
it,
people
there's
to have
likes in
families
it.
to respond. Matt Walsh being
There's
among them.
engagement
Me being
in it. How many people have fallen into that same trap? I can't remember the girl's name or the lady's name. I don't even know if they shared it. But how many people have fallen into that same life path, or that same trap, that same point in their life where they find themselves 25 plus? I'm sure the girl the lady, the female, the woman does well for herself. I'm sure she does. It didn't look like she was in a bad situation. But how many ladies do we know? How many women or how many females do we know right now that are out here that find themselves in the exact same situation? 25 plus, do well for themselves, unmarried, no kids, but they try and empower themselves through it. Like, oh no, it's okay. Like, I'm doing this. I'm doing the boss babe route. Oh yeah. People just don't understand. Nobody can handle me. I just need somebody who's on my level. But it's cope. It's all cope. It's literally just cope
among them. And I would like to again warn men against marrying a woman who holds those sorts of perspectives, because she's ultimately just selfish. Like I said, you can have a day and you can be single. You don't have to dedicate your whole day to me, narcissist, to me. Here's what I did for me. It's just not a woman that you want to marry, full stop. For leaving the kids totally separate from it. I wouldn't marry a woman like that.
Go ahead.
And all I'm saying is like, it's sad, but it's crazy that like it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're getting so many views on TikTok or Instagram or whatever they're posting these things on. It's like,
well, I said it's a trend. How many people find themselves in that scenario right now with this hyper masculine wave of femininity that we've seen, especially on the rise in like the younger generation? That's what's so sad about this shit. These aggressive, nasty, degenerative ideologies, yeah, they're nasty in adults, but they really affect the kids, man. The kids is picking this shit up and going full throttle with this shit. The shit we saying as think pieces, the kids are seeing and they're ingesting it, and they're going full throttle 10 times hard with this shit. So that shit is crazy. So she's found her niche, which is, I would say, probably an ever-growing niche. Because like I said, I'm going to say it again. How many people find themselves in that situation now? Female, 25 plus, good little job, whatever. But they done leaned on to their masculine side. Oh, I'm a boss. I need to find somebody on my level, blah, blah, blah. These niggas be... They done leaned into that instead of maybe realizing like, damn, I low-key fell for a trap. I low-key went down the wrong path. I low-key should have did this. I low-key should have took my life down this path, and I went down this path. So yeah, her videos are popular for that reason. There's a growing niche of women that find themselves in that category, you know, TikTok, one of the biggest social medias, like, hell yeah, people are finding her shit and relating to it. Hell yeah.
It's a trend. And yeah, you know, it's crazy.
Just a show of hands, who here wants to have kids one day?
More, yeah. It's my third, but
Besides Candace, does anyone here have?
You got people on the panel confidently not raising their hand. Is that not crazy?
Kids? You got kids? How many? You got?
I have.
Is that not crazy? Let's go back a little bit, y'all. I don't know if y'all peeped that. You got people on the panel confidently.
Go ahead.
And all I'm saying is like it's sad, but it's crazy that like it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're getting so many views on TikTok or Instagram or whatever they're posting these things on. It's like it's a trend, and yeah, you know, it's crazy.
Just a show of hands, who here wants to have kids one day?
more, yeah. It's my third, but
Let's count them. You got her. You got her. You got her. 3 women. And you even got his co-host in the back, I believe, with the metal hat. She's raising her hand. I know y'all see that little hand right there. So you got 3 women on the podcast who don't want kids for whatever reason. I would love to hear what their reasoning is behind it. I would guarantee, I'll almost 99% guarantee that it's something personal, something selfish. Oh, I want to come and make my own. I'm not here for kids. I'm here to learn about myself, and I'm here to make something and blah, blah. I want to make so much. I want to make this amount of money, or I want to do this for myself. I want to travel. Something selfish. Something selfish. I guarantee you, I hope he asked all 3 that didn't raise their hands. Oh, like, why? Just, you know, kind of go into why you didn't raise your hand. Why don't you want to have kids?
Besides Candace, does anyone here have kids?
Confidently didn't raise.
You got kids? How many?
I have a son. He's 21.
Okay, gotcha.
This girl right here, like, trying to like twitch her hair back, like confidently not raising her hand. Like, I really want to hear her answer.
And I'm good.
She look old.
Okay.
But one thing I noticed, a trend like
these 2 over here are young, so I don't care about her answer. She old. She got boob jobs. She looks like she's in her 40s. Ain't nobody trying to have kids with her anyway. So for real, she could have pretended and raised her hand. Like, we didn't give a fuck anyway, baby girl. I ain't gonna lie. Nope. But the 2 on the right, who are younger, who are, I would say, in that kid having range, realistically, because I don't know what the fuck she was talking about. But anyways, them 2, we want to know why they don't want to have
I
kids.
agree that it's a trend, and she's doing that to brand herself and go viral and get a lot of attention and maybe monetize that. When I talk with other girls and they're younger, and I'll say, "Are you married? Are you planning on having children?" Sometimes that's a hot button for them, and it's maybe perhaps these kind of trends are like it's a rebellious thing because sometimes it's expected for people to get married out of the gate and have children and that.
W boob job or L boob job? I say L boob job. I don't know. I don't like obvious work. I like for that shit to be so fake it looks real, if that makes sense. Or the job was done so well it just looks real. Like, I damn near couldn't tell. Like, you would have had to tell me, like, this is, I got a BBL. Like, what? Like, no. A BBL? Nope. Nah, girl, you telling me this ain't real? I want it to be like that. Not like some shit I just look at and first glance, I'm like, oh, get away from me, plastic, you Barbie doll.
That kind of traditional lifestyle. If it's an expectation that parents have that they put on their children and younger generations aren't having it, especially these days when it's so hard it's so expensive. People are having to work a lot. That's just one thing I've noticed. A little pushback on that question, even when I ask it. And I love children. Gotcha.
And I don't recall if you had a response to Candace or...
I mean, I was just going to say the opposite content does exist, and I would say that it's more prevalent and usually there's more of it than there is the opposite. And whatever community she wants to represent, I think that somebody that is single, and obviously, like I said, she closed out the video saying, I know that women that are married and have children can do all of these things as well, but this is what makes me feel better because I'm not that far along. And I think if she's giving comfort and solace to women that want to be in that position and aren't quite there yet, whether you took it that way or not, I think that that's okay.
I don't think anything that she did in there was meant to be charitable. It was all about her. So, I mean, just a different interpretation, but I'm just happy that you were honest and admitted that it is becoming trendy to put down women. Yeah, but by the way,
I mean, yeah, maybe there was a message somewhere in there for somebody in a similar situation as old girl, but the whole reason the video was posted was selfishly. Likes, views, engagement for my account. Potential money for me. Right? So, yeah, the whole reason the video was even posted, because that's a conversation she could have had with a friend, a thought she could have kept to herself. But the whole reason the video was structured and eventually posted was, yeah, selfishly. For me, for my channel.
speaking to what you were saying about it being an act of rebellion, I used to be a feminist. If you had found me, you're 22, right? Found me at 22, I would have probably had the same perspectives as you about family. It is something different, and you will realize that when it's someone that's 29 years old and saying that, it's not the same intention. It's not, I'm young, I'm free, I'm wild, and I think I'm going to live forever. Mm-hmm. What she's doing is something different. And also, just recently today, actually, Emma Roddick-Jakowski came out with a quote about, I think getting divorced before you're 30 is chic. That's something else. Mm-hmm. And
Frankie K donated $99. I just want to read this real quick. You know what's funny about Beyonce? She encourages single ladies to have fun, supports promiscuous behavior in her music, and perpetuates the I don't need a man mentality. And when she's done recording, she goes home to her husband and children. Yeah. It's profitable. It's profitable. And what's so funny about this, y'all, I was having a conversation, a spirited conversation with actually one of my closest homies. He'll be on the show at some point. Y'all meet him. Cool guy. Won't put his name out there right now. But we was having a conversation today at work, and it had came up how influential media, music, television is, and essentially the question was asked, like, why is it like that? Or what narrative are they trying to push? Why do they allow certain things to get pushed? Like, and he was kind of trying to stop anyone from going down the route of conspiracy, saying like, man, I promise you it ain't Joe Biden. I promise you they not as hands-on with this shit as people be making them out to be. And I agree with that point to an extent. But, and not to turn this into a conspiracy pod. We're going to get right back to the video, y'all. But I was sharing with him, like, this shit is just so influential. I think big business has latched onto the shit in a sense. Well, matter of fact, it is big business with the control and the influence. But big business has latched onto the media, to the social medias, to the music in a sense, to where they realize the influence that this shit has. They realize that the deep programming potential that this shit has. And yeah, they've latched onto it. Yeah, they've put their billions of dollars into it. Yeah, they've put their millions of dollars of research into it and have figured out, hey, if we do this over time, it affects these group of people in this scenario, it affects them this or that way. Like, hell yeah. If they could figure out a way to get somebody to stream Beyonce's song 100 times in a week by, I don't know, some deep subconscious programming, you don't think they doing it? If it's not that hard, if they could easily do it, or if they could do it and it's within reason, you don't think they're doing it?
That a woman at 22, a woman at 29 saying something that is appropriate when you're at 21 or 22, it's a little different, and she knew what she was doing. It was intentional. And like I said, look into her content. This is not some innocent woman that was posting just to boost herself up on the internet. Mm-hmm. She's trying to get clicks. She's trying to get views. Right. And she got them, for better or for worse.
I want to come back a little bit now to people's relationship status. So, or not even so much relationship status, but perhaps it's related. So both of you do courtship?
Sex work.
Courtship.
Courtesan. That's an old-fashioned historical term.
Okay.
Back in the day, courtesans were able to own property.
Courtesan sounds like such a fancy name. Fancy name. But in reality, man, no disrespect. Man, fuck it. These hoes just sell pussy. I don't give a fuck. They just sex workers, man. Like, are we giving these hoes special ass names? I know that's like a historical name with some type of historical meaning, I'm sure. She's about to get into it. But ultimately, aren't y'all just selling pussy? I don't give a fuck about how y'all used to be able to own land and how y'all was this and that. You sold pussy. Y'all sell pussy.
Whereas the Little Miss didn't have that ability, the way the laws were written back in the day of ancient years. Like the wife was toddlerized. And then the courtesans were able to go and attend the meetings with the politicians and the business owners and actually state their case and be influential.
But, okay, so I'm just trying to differentiate here because courtesan, when I think of it, I think of people who are in the court, typically. There's a kingdom. There's a kingdom. There's a monarch, and there's maybe some of them are dukes. Maybe
it's from that era, but
viceroys. There's some viceroys in there. There's a couple of I don't know some other terms. Lords, ladies. But okay, so you guys work in Nevada, is that correct? In what's the place that you guys work at?
There's different brothels. The Bunny Ranch, I've been at the Bunny Ranch. We've both been there. We've both worked at the world famous Mustang.
Okay.
Those are more normal.
Oh, so you guys both don't work there, or you don't work there anymore. Do you still work at what is it called, the Bunny Ranch, or?
So, hold on.
We're independent contractors. So
take your time.
So like when we're on.
Wait a second. This is where I'll be getting irritated. Did this girl just say, hold on a second so she could put on her goddamn lipstick or her lip gloss?
Wait a minute.
Am I tripping, y'all? Am I tripping, y'all? Or if that was me, I would have really took exception with that. I would have really had an issue with that. Like, girl, this isn't this isn't a date. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your one of your fans trying to take you out. This is a podcast. This ain't your podcast. This is my podcast, right? You came up here. I would have low-key had to do her like Myron. I would have had to pull out that Punisher on her because I don't even get down like that. But I'm just like, shorty, you ain't never come on a podcast, low-key try and turn this into makeup hour. Like, it's 10 people in this room. You think we about to wait on you to put on your lip gloss? There's 10 people in this room. 10 people. And you think we about to wait on your response? Everybody about to stop, wait for you to put on lip gloss for 30 seconds and wait on your response? I would have just had to ask her to respectfully leave. Not even on no crazy shit. Like, hey, you know what? Respectfully, can we ask you? Can we get her up out of here? Respectfully.
On tour, we contract ourselves out, with whomever.
Okay.
So that might change.
Sure. So a couple questions here. So I don't know, maybe it's changed throughout the course of your life, but how many? Maybe you see men, maybe you see women. How many per day or per week? Do you call them clients? What do you call them? Tricks?
Clients, friends. No, not tricks.
Marks?
No.
No? Okay, I don't know. I don't know the terminology.
Feel better about it. Clients, friends. Oh, no, not tricks, not marks. No, not hoes. No. Clients, friends. It's more professional. It's more friendly. Yeah, friendly. Yeah, it makes you feel better about it. Yeah, friends? Oh, yeah, it's just a friend. It's just a client. Like, yeah, it's... The psychology behind it is crazy because, yeah, it just makes you feel better about what you're doing.
I'm not
I mean, some providers may, but they're not maybe the most respectful.
Okay.
I like to deem them friends as soon as I get to know them and
Gotcha.
And we are like friends. Sometimes we're like married couples, but
Yeah.
it can be, it depends, anywhere from like 2 to 3 a day. That's a lot.
2 to 3 a
but
day.
maybe
Okay.
5 a week.
Okay. What about you?
So anywhere between 2 to 3. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Anywhere between 2 to 3.
Okay.
And sometimes 4 or 5, depending on.
Sure. Per day.
Yes.
Do you know what the most is in one day? Like, was there one day?
It always fluctuates.
Okay. Is there ever like a 10, a dozen?
I don't.
Yes.
There, I mean, yeah,
Baker's dozen?
it can. It
Okay.
I'm so
can happen.
confused.
Sure.
They're
I don't.
talking about, oh man, this is where my head starts to hurt because they're talking about. And let me know if I missed something, chat. If I don't know, maybe I just tuned out for a second because the conversation is just too much for me in my innocent ears. But talking about clients, talking about friends, so to speak, for the courtesans. And did she just say 4 or 5 a day? And he just asked, is it sometimes 10? And she said, yes, sometimes it fluctuates.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hell no, man. Damn, son. What? Bruh. What? What the fuck? No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I
Personally,
can't.
When coming off the heels of
Bumbleclots.
Dennis Hoff's cat house, there were, I
What?
mean,
Oh,
10.
Nick, hide. In-
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're fine. Okay, all right, good. All right, welcome to the Whatever Podcast. Always something. Where were we?
I was mentioning after Dennis Hoff did his famous show, Cat House on HBO, he drummed up a ton of mainstream media. He got one of the girls on Oprah and whatnot. There were so many people coming in. Those were the days where maybe you'd be seeing like 10 clients, 12 clients in a day.
Okay,
And that was a lot.
Gotcha. And for you two,
That was a lot.
being involved.
Yeah, that was a lot to say the least. I can't imagine. Bro, I be cute, Buck. I can't imagine fucking 10 bitches a day. 10 bitches a day? Oh my God. Like, bro, if you doing that, bro, listen, bro, you the GOAT. You the undisputed GOAT. You are him, James, Himothy. But listen, me, I ain't gonna lie. I can't 10 a day. And then to be the female on the receiving end of that, the catcher, not the pitcher.
Wait a minute.
Oh man, your glove got to be worn. Your glove got to be
Involved in
worn.
prostitution. Has it had any impact when it comes to your romantic prospects?
Yeah, I've got to be able to be myself and fully disclose, and I need that person to accept me for who I am. Bottom line.
I have had no issues doing being a legal prostitute. I've had no issues being a legal prostitute just because I haven't been dating anybody within this time for that year.
I wonder how that would work with you being a legal prostitute and all, and you trying to get a boyfriend. What kind of man would even? I really got to know what type of men. I know what type of men they attract. I mean, just look at them. They're not ugly girls. None of these girls on this podcast are ugly. I mean, some of them maybe not my type, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm sure all of us watching could admit that these girls are at least somewhat attractive, right? Aside from whatever we got going on here. We ain't even worried about her. But everybody else, the girls on the other side of the panel, we can all kind of agree that they have some level of attractiveness. So they're not really too worried about having to go out and apply themselves, put themselves in scenarios where they go get a man. The men come to them. And we know what men are coming up to them. Any man could come up to them. Like I said, they're attractive girls. Nobody knows when I see this girl at Target grabbing her food snacks. I don't know if she's an OnlyFans model. I don't know that until I get to talking to girl and hanging around her for a couple days. And then it might hit me, right? I might find out, whatever. She might tell me. But I don't know when I see this girl in Target that she's an OnlyFans model. I don't know that. How am I supposed to know that? Even if she's dressed provocatively, I still do not know that. Now, this girl herself claiming that she's a legal prostitute, I'm imagining she might be wearing something to advertise herself as that. But anybody else, hypothetically, like I said, Target, I ain't gonna know. How am I gonna know? I'm just looking at you and I'm just gonna be like, damn, that's a nice ass. Damn, that's some nice titties. I ain't gonna know you an OnlyFans girl.
As for everything else, it's hard dating. I've ran into a lot of insecure men. Typically, those are the ones that can't handle me doing what I do for work. And
just a point of clarification. So you've run into a lot of insecure men, and are they insecure because they don't want to date you because you are currently active as a prostitute?
No, I'm saying I've never dated a guy while I was working at the brothels, at the Bunny Ranch or the Mustang Ranch. But I've been dating guys, like, between me doing camming and dancing. So that's what I'm talking about.
But you mentioned insecure men. What specifically are they doing that makes them insecure? Is it because they're insecure about your work?
Yes, like I've had exes in the past that would cry about me going to work to dance at the strip club.
Okay.
Well, no.
I've had guys try to control like what I wear, and
I'm not gonna lie. If he was crying, he was probably a bitch, probably a beta. But any guy that's trying to take you serious, let's just be realistic here, ladies. Let's just be realistic here. Please, let's just be realistic here, everyone. Ladies, fellas, anybody who was dating a sex worker, at some point in time, if you're trying to take that person seriously, what they're doing for their business, for their profession, is going to start to bother you. It's going to start to bother you because you're going to see other people not really giving them that same respect that you feel like they deserve. Fuck how they feel, because they might not respect themselves. But if that's the love of your life and you see niggas throwing 20s and smacking that bitch ass and saying, hey, baby, come shake that motherfucker over here, bro, you might feel some type of way, bro. That's your girl.
Damn, son.
That's your baby. You be calling her love. You be making her eggs in the morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? You already done thought about names for y'all future kids. And then you see bro at the strip club throwing 20s on her and telling that bitch to come shake it over here fast. Come bust it open.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you gonna feel some type of way.
Say that I can't work at strip clubs or do OnlyFans or whatever.
Yeah. At the moment
was there
you
more?
decided
No,
that you wanted to take
Okay.
me serious.
Is it because they're insecure, or is that just them having boundaries and standards?
I feel like that's...
My bad, y'all.
I mean, you knew what I was doing before.
Yeah, at the moment you decided I hate that. I love it and I hate that excuse. I love it because it's easy to dismantle. I hate it because it's literally stupid. But she talking about, he felt something. Yeah, of course he did. At the moment you decided you wanted to take me seriously was low-key the moment you also decided, like, yeah, I'm not taking this sex worker shit seriously. It's like you had this shit on a scale. One heavily outweighs the other to the point where the other just falls off and you're not even doing it anymore. And she was about to make the point, well, you know what y'all was doing when you got with me. Okay. I might have got what you thinking it was going to be just a little fling. But now it's turned into something else. And let's be honest, fellas, it be like that sometimes. You might start fucking with shorty. You ain't know it was going to turn into what it turned into. You got with her because... hey, y'all met at the party one day. She was looking good. Y'all did y'all thing a couple times. Y'all got food a couple times. Y'all linked up, whatever. Right? It's then developing this some more shit, right? Shorty kind of cool, whatever. We all done been there. No problem. It's all cool. You can still keep that player. But she's saying like, oh, you knew what I was when you knew what I was when you met me. Shorty, look, the second I found out about that shit was the second I stopped taking it seriously, though. Really? Or I always had an issue with it, right? And maybe I just didn't bring it up all the way through because I'm not taking you that seriously anyway. What I look like beating you over the head with it, beating you out the door with it, and I'm low-key just trying to... Anyway, Come on now. I'm just dropping game.
Before you met me, right? So all of them knew exactly what I was doing before they met me, which brings it to, yeah, if you have a problem with what I do before you meet me, maybe don't get involved with me.
Sure.
I'm very open. I'm a very honest person.
Sure.
You knew what I was doing before you met me. If you don't like it, there's the door. Nobody's.
I love another excuse I love is when, I'm a very honest person. Bro, you being honest about the nasty, low down shit you're doing doesn't make you a good person. It does not make you. Maybe you should be lying. Maybe you should be keeping some of that shit under wraps. Oh, yeah, I had 5 clients today and 3 friends, but that doesn't have. Maybe you should have just lied. Maybe you should have just kept that to yourself. People want to just go around just brandishing that. Oh, I'm honest. Like, bro. You don't need to be telling. Sometimes you just can shut up. You don't need to tell everything. You didn't put your whole shit out there. You didn't overshared. People be oversharing. Oh, I'm honest. No, you just an oversharer.
It's making you stay.
I think too, gentlemen love the idea of dating us, and then once we go to do it, then it's not really realistic.
Right. It's almost like fetish.
A fetish.
Like, you're right.
Yeah.
It's like.
That's exactly what it is. Which doesn't make y'all viable long-term candidates for any type of relationship. Niggas put y'all into this fetishization category where it's like, oh yeah, these OnlyFans models, attractive girls. Like I said, I'm sure if I get on here and type in blase blah, whoever username, I'm gonna see some freaky shit. So they going off of that. They going literally off the idea of you. Once they get what you see, your regular girl, low key, they got to deal with all the hype of your online sex personality. Plus, just like I said, you're a regular girl. Like the allure wears off, baby girl. Then they realize, like, damn, I look, he could just go get me a good girl. Yeah, maybe she ain't as freaky. Yeah, maybe the titties ain't as big, but I ain't got to worry about shorty butthole being on OnlyFans for $4.99 a month. And I walk down the street and I'm holding your hand and somebody laughing, snickering in the background. And in the back of my head or the front of my head, I already know what's up. Yeah, I already know what's up. Yeah, they just looked me in my eye and started laughing. Yeah, I already know what's up. Yeah, we going to have to fight. I'm probably going to. It's just a dangerous situation to put yourself in as a man. If you a self-respecting man, don't even put yourself in that situation for real. Don't even do it. She said it. She understands her situation exactly right. She said it best. Yeah, they fetishize us. Like I said, it doesn't make y'all viable long-term candidates though. Yeah, niggas just want to fuck. Once they done fucking, it's over, low key. Once that little shit wears off, and they be like, damn, it's just a regular bitch with like mad bodies. I'm cool. But I'm hoping y'all enjoying this, man. This is gonna be part 1. I'll have to close out here in a second. Yeah, let me know if y'all fucking with this, man. This has been it's been good. It reminds me of Fresh and Fit a lot, and again I don't make that comparison to be disrespectful. I'm just more familiar with Fresh and Fit than I am whatever. I've seen a lot of their clips, but never any of their long form content. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, let me know what y'all think on this. I've enjoyed it thus far. I'm gonna skip to a juicy part real quick. And yeah, I think yeah, depending on what y'all let me know. We'll
it's so hot. I have a girlfriend that does this, that, and the other, and then when they're really at home and I'm like on OnlyFans or on a call with a client or whatever, they're like, "No, this is weird. This is weird." You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that I think it's
talking on the phone with a client. I don't need to get into that for y'all. Y'all can only imagine she's a self-proclaimed legal prostitute and she's on the phone with a client. Y'all can only imagine what the conversation is probably persistent of. And I'm her man in the next room hearing it. Yeah, that shit's making me uncomfortable. I don't give a fuck how much you're getting paid. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Niggas are always going to want to have their girl just be their girl. And nobody wants to be sharing shit. And you're my girl. I protect you. I see you as that queen. But everybody gets access to you in that way. Like, nah, it just diminishes the value of that queen status. Like, yeah, we could fuck around. Yeah, we could be cool, but I ain't about to be putting you as no number one. It just ain't. It can't go.
Security, yes, because you knew where I was coming from. You knew what I was doing, and you weren't okay with it. Then you should have made.
All right, let's skip
Got a
into
point.
the last little.
I mean, I
part
suppose you
here.
have a point that, I mean,
Like I
if they
said,
knew going in.
I think Candace has made some good points. I think these girls, I think that OnlyFans shit just rots your brain. I think when you get online and you could post scantily clad pictures of yourself easily with your iPhone that you got that's not even paid off and just make thousands of dollars, I think that just does something to your psyche. I think it messes you up. I think it already inflates it definitely inflates your ego, and I don't think it's good for your psyche in general. I know consuming that content isn't good for men, isn't good for anybody, but let's face it, men are the ones who are overwhelmingly consuming that type of content. But I don't think it's good for either party, the creator or the consumer. Let's be honest. I literally don't. I don't think it's good for anybody. But does OF ever cause dating issues? Yeah. Or single? Nah, let's see if OF causes dating issues, because we know it does. But we want to hear their takes on it. We want to hear if there's any cope, if there's any deniability or any denial. I'm sure there is. That's damn near what this whole podcast
When you say
is,
high-end
cope
men, what do you mean
from
by
OF
that?
girls.
Like,
oh no,
Like
guys
high-value men?
Yes, high
Or
value.
men with a lot of money?
High value.
Okay.
I have a question for you two here. So both of you do OnlyFans. Having done OnlyFans, continuing to do OnlyFans, has it had any negative impacts on your dating prospects? Does it make it harder to date? Has it been maybe non-issue at all? Some guys like it.
I've never had an issue with it, dating-wise. No one has ever, because I'm very upfront too. First date, if this is what I do, if you don't like it, this is how I make my money. Unless you're going to pay me the same amount of money I'm making, then I'm not going to stop supporting myself. But yeah, I never really ran into issues. But again, I don't do full pornographic content or anything like that, so it probably is a little bit different.
And that be they, I swear they think that saves them by throwing that in at the, oh wow, I don't post full nude. I don't go full. I don't have any topless or any fully nude. Like, come on, bro. But you on there. You on there. That's like being a drug dealer and saying like, oh, it's just weed though. I don't sell the hard. I don't sell none of that other shit. The shit that's really killing people. It's just like, bro, like you get caught with enough, you're still a criminal. They still treating your ass like a criminal. There's no weed jail, and then hard drug jail is over here with the big boys. Like, nah, you going to the same jail everybody else going to. They giving your ass the same sentence depending on what you got caught with, where they caught you with it, the type of, y'all know what's up. But yeah, there's no differentiation between the two. Like, sure, you're on OF, that makes you a sex worker. You saying you don't post full nude, that doesn't make me think any different of you. Like, I'll be honest. Maybe somebody else.
For somebody on
not me.
OnlyFans that does do that type of content. But I personally have never ran into an issue. My boyfriend at first was, I told him and he was like, okay, well, if I'm going to date you, I have to be okay with this. And that was that. And it's never been an issue.
And I think a lot of times it'd be a situation where these women find it hard to date. They get in a situation with a guy who is kind of in over his head. He might be good looking, he might not be, but let's just say he's in over his head. Socially, maybe there's an aspect to the relationship where she's better off than him, right? He's in over his head to an extent, and he agrees to something. He just doesn't really. He really doesn't know what. Like I said, he's in over his head. He doesn't really know what he's agreeing to. He agrees to something that he really hasn't thought all the way through. He doesn't really know the end result to. He has no experience in. Think about it like this. Somebody that's specifically this last girl who made that comment, somebody who she's dating, she's probably smarter than, maybe, right? Has more money than, or has more experience in the dating marketplace, so to call it, than the dude or the man she's talking to. So she has a leverage in that regard. So yeah, somebody's just gonna be like, somebody who's gonna be mad thirsty to talk to her, just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's fine, that's okay, I'm mature, that's no big deal, ho ho ho. Like we all have been at one point in time, just to talk to a girl, just to have access to a girl before we, yeah, maybe some of us were just innately realize that, but I'm man enough to say, man, I done been there in my younger days. I'm talking about teenage years, of course. But yeah, oh yeah, that's cool, I ain't tripping about that, blase, blase, just to talk to old girl, knowing that shit. When she said it, it hit my ear wrong. When she said it, it made me uncomfortable. Whatever it is, y'all insert the situation, right? Hypothetical situation. But yeah, I said it was okay. Or yeah, I went along with it just to have access to old girl. Access that I probably didn't even get in the way that I wanted. So, AKA box that I probably didn't even fucking get. Because simping never gets you that shit, low key.
Sorry, I was asking, what kind of content do you do on OnlyFans?
Mainly topless content.
Okay,
So
and you currently have a boyfriend?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Just that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
Simple to get you some box, y'all. It just ain't no honor.
Okay.
It just ain't no honor.
What about you, S.E.?
I've also never had an issue in my dating life. I don't date that often though, but
Right, because you've been single for 6 years.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be related to that you're now doing OnlyFans.
yeah, I also don't do nudes on OnlyFans, so it's just like lingerie content.
I love it when they say that because they be so willing to volunteer that fact. It's like, oh, but look, I don't do nudes though. I'm not as bad as the other OnlyFans. Like, bitch, yes you are. You on OnlyFans. Yes, the fuck you is. It just doesn't make you any better. I swear that shit don't. It's not. There's no differentiation between the two. Like, you're on the same app. Like I said, I made the analogy about the drug dealers. Oh, I only sell weed. Okay, that's cool. Fine and dandy. But you're still going to this big boy jail where everybody goes to. There's no weed jail. There's no, okay, he was only selling weed. Send him down the road. No, you're going to the same big boy jail everybody go to. It ain't no filtering out like, oh, he was only doing this, or oh, she was only posting lingerie, so she's not that bad. Like nah, you're on OnlyFans making money off of niggas subscribing to your content, to your sexually explicit content. Okay, you're not on there nude, thank God. Maybe you have two more cents worth of common sense than the other women on the panel who
so I think that also maybe helps because
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Question here for Candace. So, what are your thoughts on OnlyFans?
Yeah, like I was saying, congratulations. You maybe have
Fans,
two more cents worth of
sex
common sense than the other women who said they post fully nude do. But I as a guy in the dating market, if I was to come across her and that was to come up in comparison to somebody who was posting fully nude, it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what, you're right, that's so much better. Like, nah. But okay, I see the same thing here.
Work.
That Spider-Man
And
meme.
do you
It's like the
believe that,
Spider-Man meme where they just
a woman
pointing back at
doing
each other.
OnlyFans or
Like, it's the
porn
same
might
thing.
have an impact on her future romantic prospects? And if so, how and why? I can repeat it. That was a lot, so let me know if you need me to repeat anything.
I talk about this extensively on my show. I mean, the truth is that if you are going to engage in sex work, you are going to probably make a lot of money, especially if you're young. You're on a very tight rope as you get older. Your value goes down, and men are going to want women that are younger and available to them. I'm talking about in terms of just making the person who will subscribe to your OnlyFans page. You know, obviously, women, you're declining as you age, And the truth is that high-value men don't want to date women that are sex workers or even women that aren't sex workers and lean into the whole talking about how sexy and are freely available on the internet for other men to see. What we're talking about is biological proclivity. What men are doing when they first say, this sounds amazing, to date a stripper or to date a prostitute or to date a sex worker.
Yeah, come on now. You lit if you got a little stripper girlfriend. Like, everybody at one point in time thought that shit was lit. Like, oh, yeah, I got a little stripper girlfriend. Or, oh, yeah, my girl make... Yeah, everybody thought that shit was lit at some point in time. Yes, okay, cool. But you get to a certain point of maturity, or you just get to a certain point of life experience where you realize, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's actually more headache than it is fun. Like, the allure of it is there when you hear it. Like, oh yeah, I got me a little freaky, little bad, little, yeah. The allure is there when you hear it, but you get with them. Like I said, you realize they're low key just a normal ass girl, and you got to deal with all the headache of the shit that attracted you to them now, because everybody low key looking at your girl for the same reasons you was attracted to her. That's a part of her ego. That's a part of her confidence. She walks around like that girl. Yeah, it's more headache than it is fun. I'm telling y'all, it's more headache than it is fun dealing with one of these type of girls.
There's this instinct to have sex. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have sex all the time. But then when they realize that actually a form of wanting to be in a relationship is feeling that there's a mystery to a woman, that there's something that's yours, there's something that's sacred, there's something that's powerful and beautiful that just you share.
That's what dudes want. Ain't no dude about to be taking, well, I would say 90% of dudes who operate on dude level are going off of exactly what Candace said. Innately, not because she said it, not because it was said, but innately. Yeah, we want our girl to be our girl. We want our queen to be our queen. There's something about exclusivity about our women that it's like primal in us, bro. It's just primal in us. It's primal in us. We don't want everybody having access to our girl. That's our shit. That's our little shit. That's our little yeah. You know? Nobody else touching that. And that's what every dude want to be able to say. If I'm going to be marrying you, taking you seriously, like, but you got pictures of your booty hole for $3.99, niggas in the comments saying all type of weird, nasty, crazy shit.
And when they realize that they have to share that with other men, it completely diminishes the man. A recent cultural example of that, obviously, is what's happening with Nina Agdal. She's not a sex worker by any means. She just kind of said some sexy thing on the internet about wanting cock. And look at what...
Was not expecting that from Candace.
I'm quoting her directly. So this is
cock. I don't think anybody was expecting that from Candace. Shout out. She said, I'm quoting her directly.
Purely academic. Purely academic. And look at what happened.
Purely academic. I'm quoting her directly. Her words, not mine. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know I don't talk like that. I'm just trying to be accurate. You know, it's journalism here. You know, I got to say what she said. You know, it's not true journalism if I don't. Shout out Candace. Shout out Candace. But that is looking like it's going to be a good ending point to end this part 1 on. Man, I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. That was I was entertained thoroughly. Yeah, shout out Whatever Podcast. They got a fan out of me after this one. Only fan girls, listening to them is a headache a lot of times, even on Fresh and Fit podcast. But I think depending on who you have going against them, it could be good dialect. It could be a good back and forth. And Candace is proved to be a good guest. And hell, that's probably why they went 4 hours. But yeah, shout out Candace Owens. Shout out Whatever Podcast. Fuck it, man. I'll just do a part 2 for y'all, man. I enjoyed that enough for me to want to come back and do a part 2. So tune in tomorrow for a part 2 on that. We'll make our way through that. We'll probably do a part 2. Maybe try and get that down to 3 parts. It's hella long, but I'll try and condense that down to 3 parts for y'all. So let me know what y'all thought on that. Let me know what y'all thought on the stream tonight. It was fun. Thanks for coming in and kicking it. Like I said, we was on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So wherever you at, thank you for tuning in. It's been S.E.T Key Media, man. Key on the solo. I'm signing out, dog.